Man, so I watched all 8 episodes of the series. I feel like I learned. Yeah, I spent the weekend watching. I feel like I learned a lot about you, and I'm riddled with envy at some of the cool shit you got to do.
All right.
I'm just being completely honest. But listen, before we get into the series, I like throwing a few curves at the beginning.
Okay.
You've done a lot of cool stuff. If someone has never seen anything you've done before, what is the first thing you'd like them watching and why?
Road to Paloma. It's a movie that I co-wrote, directed, and did with like 6 of my friends, and about a very important topic on the Native American reservations. And I did it about 12 years ago now.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you could get the financing to make anything you want, what would you make and why?
Oh, well, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of it right now. My dream was to make Chief of War. I'm making it with Apple. And we just finished the first season, and so we're in post right now. So I'd say that that's my dream, to make this Native Hawaiian tale, and we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I know that you co-wrote a lot of the episodes.
Yeah, we created it with my partner Thomas, and got to direct with my friends, and directed it too.
What's scarier, spending all day doing interviews or hosting SNL?
I mean, hosting SNL will be the most terrifying thing. It's always the scariest thing.
Sure. I could never do it. I can't imagine what it's like when you walk out from behind the thing and you see the camera there and the audience, and the
problem is I need glasses too, so I can't see. I'm always squinting, but I can't see very well, and so I can't get contacts in to save my life. So it's really scary, the reading, and also a little slow. So it all gets very nerve wracking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it sincerely. I could never do it. I'm so impressed by anybody who can. So one of the things about the show, jumping into the series, you had 8 episodes, and you obviously cover, guitars and motorcycles and your passion and photography. But was there anything that came close to being on the show that you were ultimately like, I'm just going to focus on these things?
Yeah, but I feel like I would want to save that. If people liked it, I would do it for season 2. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. I mean, these were the first ones where, we started with Discovery. Before Discovery bought into Warner Brothers, and then it's HBO Max and Max. So we started a long time ago as Discovery. Discovery is very heavy into motorcycles. So that was our original thing. And like people really love that. And I was like, all right, well, that's what we're great at. And then slowly introduce all the different things like the knife making and the jewelry making and relating that to the characters in my craft, the things that I love. So it's like, it's really trying to, make them all intertwined together. Like, what are the things that inspire me or the things that I want to learn? So there's tons of more things I want to do. I don't know if I want to spill those yet, because I hope people love it. So if they like it, then I can do another season and do more.
Totally. So how did it work when you were making the series? Obviously, you were filming everything at once. So how, or am I wrong? Could you tell
me? The hard part about doing this show is that you want to sit with each one of these. So you have to have the moment of fruition, right? So wherever that moment, whether it's just me by myself, then we're going to go take it to the people. Then we're going to talk about it. And then I got to disappear. And then they're going to have to start putting it together. So I'll have to send the crew in to start shooting twice. The building process. Then I come back at the end of it. And at the end of it, we're going to do the reveal. And then we either take that and shoot the big event that we're doing, or, how we fit the last part of it. So I'm really there for the beginning and the end. And then we shoot the middle of it, because obviously it's just that with the artist. So the project could take 2 years to make. Like, to make a 29 electric car that's never happened on a Phantom is not going to, I'm flying in from Dubai just to be there for the middle half. So, I mean, I do fly in on the middle half of it too. And we're always trying to connect with all these projects. So I'm trying to juggle wherever I'm at in the world with whatever projects we're doing. So,
yeah. Well, one of the things I could tell by mask wearing, I'm like, oh, that was like 2020, 2021. Oh, yeah. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we started our first push. So we started in California. We went up to Northern California. Then we came down and we went all the way through Texas, down to like Louisiana, and then straight up and through North Carolina, and then went to where I started season 2. So we ended up in Canada. And then that's when, so we did that big sweep through, and then after COVID. So
one of the things that I thought was really cool, and I didn't know about you going into this series, is how you've worked with your friends and people that you really admire to create these one-of-a-kind items for your characters in Fast, in C, in the new Apple series. So Yeah, exactly. So can you sort of take me through what is it like on set? Are you telling the showrunner or the director, hey, I have some friends, I want to create this? How does it actually work with the production?
Yeah, I generally, even on Frontier, I was hired, and my partner Blaine Halverson, who I made Melee with, he does a lot of different clothes and stuff like that. So I have him build my own pieces, but also he works with the costume designer. So the costume designer would come in. I just wanted him to age certain things. So the hero pieces were aged. And like even on Aquaman, Michael was the costume designer. He actually came to me. He was like, well, Aquaman's not going to wear polos and, suits. So, I mean, like, I want him to look like what you do. And I wanted him to look like Slash. And I wanted him to carry all the things of him going from village to different places around the world. So he had knickknacks and things that were special that people would give him when he saved things and did things. So he wore everything on him. That was like had memory, and then he would have very military things. He's always constantly traveling around the world. So whenever I build a character, and so Blaine helped me with those. And so generally I have someone who helps me, and I go to production and I ask for that. And I also just do it myself, and I pay for it, and I show up. And if they beat what I made, then they win. If they don't beat what I made, then they don't win. And then you have to I'm going to go invest into my craft. And I think this is what it should be. If you show up with something better, where like Trish Somerville on C, I showed up for first season of C and I didn't bring a fucking thing. She laid it out. Second season, I did a lot of my stuff where I wanted to look a certain way. And I completely was like, I wanted to be this and do this. Costume designer made it. I came with the props. I go like, this is what I would like. This is what I would like. And so you kind of just go, I think over time, they really enjoy when you come with that much passion. Because when I did Fast at first, she was like, oh, and then we are now very tight. And because I just come with I want to play this character this way. I want him to look this way. I want to feel this way. So everything is for a reason, and it's all for the better of the movie. So I just think it's a little, you pull back the curtain to see, this is what I'm obsessed with. I wanted to bring this in here. I made these knives. I was there when we made them and shoot it.
Sure. I will say you were my favorite part of Fast 10. The way your character looked and the way you played the role, fantastic.
Well, I just wanted him to be in pastels. That was my first thing. I was inspired by the little necklace. It was all in pastels. I wanted it to be something that's you can get close to and go like, oh, that's not that harmful. And the closer you get, I actually put contacts in because I wanted to. And you just see those black eyes. I have greenish hazel eyes, and when you put those dark eyes in, you're like, ooh, I got too close, and by that time it was too late. And he just used knives, and he was dangerous.
One of the things that I would imagine the coolest part of your life must be being able to cold call someone you're a fan of and be like, hey, I'm Jason Momoa. I'm a huge fan of your work. I want to learn how you do your stuff. Can I come by? Like, who are some of the people, or like, who is someone that you still can't believe you were able to do that with and who you got to learn from?
Les Claypool.
Oh, yeah.
Primus. I grew up with Primus. He's hands down the greatest bass players of all time. We talk all the time. Todd Heido. I mean, he's my eyes. I love everything that he does. Julian Schnabel. He's him and like Denny are my top. Like those are the people that signed my DGA when I became a director. I was like, that's ultimate. I got Denny, and Julian. Slash.
Yeah.
Skateboarder, Eric Ellington. Like, dude, he's my friend. Like, it's just people that I'm like, they're my friends now. But I'm constantly inspired by them, and they're wonderful. And they keep pushing. It's wonderful, man.
Yeah. All I've heard about the Dune sequel is that it is phenomenal. And that is no surprise because Denis is a genius.
He is all that in a bag of chips, man. He's amazing.
100%. So something I was very curious about, you recreated these classic guitars, like Slash's guitar from like the 80s, right? So I'm curious. Say it again?
Appetite for Destruction. It's the Appetite for Destruction guitar.
So my question is, and even like the 59 or the 60 Fender, I forget the Pearly Gates guitar.
Yes.
So what I'm curious about is when they recreated the guitar at Fender, does it actually sound, or wherever it was done, I'm sorry, does it actually sound like the original, or with the modern electronics and modern wood, does it have like a different sound?
I mean, that's something for them, but they use it on stage. And so when Slash uses it, he loves it. And what those artisans are putting in, the thing is you can never duplicate that feel and that time and all that energy put into that wood. But over time, like you can get it as close as you can get to it, these guys are going to do. So, but as far as getting the what they can do with technology, getting those PAFs and getting the pickups as close as they can really do that now. But having that historic of what was in 59, I mean, you can never have the real thing. They were all individually different. And that's what gave them, that's why they're the holy grails. But these guitars that we made are so good that Slash and Billy take them on the road. So they're definitely the best you can get. And it's cool because we made that for them. And then we made one for a charity. So now we're going to go and auction it off when people get to see the show, let that resonate with people. And then we're going to start the auctions.
Yeah, I think it's really cool what you're going to be doing for charities. And if I had the money, just say
I'm excited. Maybe no one watches the show and then maybe they're going to go for nothing.
I'm pretty confident it's going to be out of my budget, and that's okay because I want these charities to make money. So that's totally fine. Where are the 636s right now?
They're all kind of split up right now. They're all kind of split up all over the world because I've been down in New Zealand, so a lot of stuff's with me where I want it to be. So right down there. Sure.
I'm almost out of time, and I want to ask you this. One of the things that I think is great is that you want to use, play, and share these vintage, amazing items, and these old motorcycles and these guitars. But there is the aspect of you want to preserve also history. So what do you actually have that is actually so sacred that you don't want to display it or play it? Is there anything like that, or does everything fair game to use?
Everything's fair game to use as far when it comes down to something like a motorcycle or a guitar, but it's the things that are sacred to me are things that my kids made, things that are very personal, things that are irreplaceable. Not that guitars aren't, but the things that I find really that I cherish aren't the guitars and motorcycles and things like that. They're very they would mean nothing to you.
Sure. No, I totally get it. So basically, if you came across a one of one motorcycle, it's being ridden no matter what.
There's a one of one motorcycle. I don't have something like that's a one of one motorcycle, so I haven't had to deal with that. But if it was a one of one, I tell you what I would do. I would share with the world. So I would basically take that apart. I would 3D scan it. Sure. And I would make it available, and I'm going to go shoot it and make something amazing with it. And then we can put that one up, and it should be in a museum, which it belongs to be. And as long as it works, and it still works too. I wouldn't ride it, but I'd ride those other ones. And I'd try to make it better, and we try to blow it up and make it better, and blow it up, and make it better. And that's how we progress. So, but I would, if I took a one-on-one, I'd share it. And so I'd probably try to replicate it.
On that note, I need to wrap. I'm just going to say congrats on the series, and I do hope it's a huge hit for you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching 8 episodes.